Hey, it's a new release Wednesday. That's always a good day, isn't it? For cards anyway. We love new release Wednesdays and Fridays. So tonight we've got two different things that we're going to open. It will be a 3-box case of Onyx preferred players autographed baseballs, and then a half case of Heritage baseball. That's the one that just came out today. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with both of those things. But before we get started ripping into our packs and our boxes, there is some information to go over. So let's go ahead and get started with that. First up is about feedback. That's to let you know that my feedback is 100% automated on eBay. So anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you're going to instantly get positive feedback in return. And of course, the second message there is to say thank you. I do appreciate everyone who bids and breaks and chats and hangs out with me. So we're going to take a look next up at things that are already listed on eBay that we'll be breaking over the next few days. Except I put it on the wrong tab, didn't I? Look at that. Yeah, we got to switch those around because that'll mess me up all night long. There we go. That's a little better now. So tomorrow night will be another case of Impeccable Basketball, and we'll also open a 4th case of Select Football. Friday night, Gold Rush Trifecta Football. That's got 3 autographed memorabilia items in it. Also a Gold Rush autographed basketball jersey. The new 2019 series is out for those. And Friday is the release day for Contenders Optic Football, which we will break by the full master case on Friday night. That's right. We're not going to mess around with those 10-box inners one at a time. We're going to bust 2 10-box inners at once. We'll also open a 4th case of Leaf Best of Basketball. So Friday's going to be a big one. Saturday, that's when we're going to finish up the case of Heritage Baseball that we start tonight. So we'll break the first half of the case tonight, the back half of this same case Saturday night. Sunday is going to be an off night, but we'll be back at it on Monday. We'll do a pair of Gold Rush autographed mini football helmets, along with another 3-box case of the Onyx autographed baseballs, like we're going to open here shortly, and a 5th case of Impeccable Basketball, along with another master case of Contenders Optic Football. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up here in the days ahead, as well as, of course, tonight. So here's the information you need to know for tonight. There's a lot of stuff on here. We're going to try to boil it down a little bit. So we have 1 free shipping break and 1 paid shipping break. Our free shipping break, of course, is for the Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs. And if you happen to be one of the lucky winners on that one, your baseball will be on the way to you no later than Wednesday, the 6th of March, which, believe it or not, is a week from today. We are knocking on the front door of March as we speak. And of course, a lot of times that stuff goes out faster, but that simply means it won't go out any later than a week after the break on a free shipping break. Our paid shipping break tonight, that's our 2019 Topps Heritage. That should be on the way to you on Saturday, on or before Saturday, unless something unexpected happens. If something did go off the rails a little bit, it could possibly slip into Monday, but I feel like Saturday is a pretty reasonable target there for our half case of Heritage Baseball. Now, consolation cards. You don't need to worry about that in Heritage. Everybody's going to pull cards there. However, in the Onyx Preferred Players, not everybody is going to pull something. So if you're in that break, you are going to be entitled to a consolation trading card. It can be from any year and any series, and I keep track of it for a rolling 90 days. Because that is a free shipping break, I typically would just hang on to that until your next package ships. But if you want it sent sooner, you just send me a message on eBay. Let me know that, and I will happily take care of it for you, okay? So that is what we need to know to get rolling tonight. We're starting off with a 3-box case of 2019 Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs. That is a full inner case break, and this is break number 5. So everything we're opening tonight ended tonight on eBay Wednesday night, the 27th of February. You've got team names on the left-hand side. Winning bidders are across from it there on the right-hand side. There are 4 teams that have no hits in this product. That is the Cubs, the Marlins, the Pirates, and who's the other one? The Cubs, the Marlins, the Pirates. I can't even remember now. Where is the fourth one? Ah, the Tigers. Yeah, the Tigers. So you see those are noted there on the spreadsheet as no hits not listed. So that's why those particular teams were not listed for sale, because they don't show up on the checklist. Onyx did give us a full checklist for this product, and you probably saw it. It was part of the listing description. Last but not least, I'm sure you noticed there that the background went out of focus a little bit, and that was on purpose. We're still going to be able to see everything. We'll actually be able to see it up closer than we would have been otherwise, so shouldn't have any worries there. So who is here tonight? Greg's here, Matt's here. Matt, you have the Cardinals in Heritage, so you're looking for some St. Louis mojo here in a few minutes. And Bruce is here. Hi, Bruce, Chris, and Griffin. Charlie, I think we had maybe one unpaid team in Heritage, but it was such a low dollar amount on that particular unpaid team that I really don't even think I will worry about it. And if it ultimately gets paid, fine. If it doesn't, that's okay too, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, right now I've got somebody who didn't get a hit in a product who's mad because they got charged customs charges on the cards that they did hit, and so they're busy trying to tag me for $300 and something. I was more worried about that than the other. CIA is here. CIA Chef and Tommy and Geo and Eric is here too. All right, let's see what we got going here. Tommy B, this is your first break ever. Oh, how about that? We've got somebody brand new to breaks. Well, welcome. Breaks are a lot of fun. Be forewarned, they are super addictive. So that could be any number of things. That could be Cody Bellinger. It could be, I don't know who it is. I always like to look and guess before we actually see the paperwork that tells us it is Onyx authenticated. It's probably not Cody Bellinger, but it looks like it could be, doesn't it? Sort of, to me. Anyway, there's the Onyx paperwork that goes with it. And it is Cody Reed. I was partially right. The Cody part was right, but the Bellinger part was wrong. So Cody Reed, let me find him here on our checklist. I can't think offhand where he goes. So bear with me. He is a Cincinnati Red. How do I not know that? Like, the Reds are my team. How do I not know that Cody Reed goes to my Reds? I don't know, but I didn't. Now I do. Learned something, haven't I? Yeah, like there's one other Reds player, minor league Reds player, that I can never ever remember is actually a Reds player. I don't know. Usually when they work their way up through the ranks a little more, I will remember them better. But yeah, he got me on that. Oh, Cody. Cody fooled me there. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. I have absolutely no idea who that is. Looks interesting though, the signature. It is also Onyx authenticated. So there's our Onyx card that goes with it. And the answer is Reese McGuire. So where does Reese go? Let's look you up too, Reese McGuire, because I'm pulling all these things that I don't know tonight. I know, right? Usually we know them, but I don't know this one. So I'm looking. Hang on. I'm looking. Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays, or Reese McGuire. Charlie, you were guessing too? I hear you, man. It's kind of fun. I like that part, actually. I like to look at them before I know who it is, just because it is kind of fun to guess. I'm almost always wrong, but I still like to give it a go. Anyway, that's kind of all over the place right there. That could be anybody. It is JSA authenticated and Onyx authenticated. And let's find out who this is. There's our Onyx paperwork. Here's our JSA. You know, this one's a little bent, but honestly, guys, don't worry about it. That doesn't matter. It's what's on the ball itself that is the important part, the sticker that's on that. But pretty much any of these little papers, they often come out of here bent because they throw them in there, you know, underneath the balls or on top of the balls. And it is Acuna. You know, I looked at that and I thought that could be Acuna. And then I thought, well, it's kind of more spread out than his signature is normally. Huh, how about that? And Chris got it right, yeah, and so did Ezekiel and Danny. So, yeah, several of you caught that one right. I thought it might be when I first looked at it, and then I thought, no, he doesn't usually have that much space between his first and last name, but I guess it's because they just usually don't give him that much space to sign, right? We know where he goes. That's the Braves. So Cody Reed for the Cincinnati Reds. We're just recapping these. I'm going to go ahead and label the top of each of these boxes as we go along, just so I don't have to worry about that later, except I've laid my pen down somewhere. So let's grab another one here and get it up and running so we can get these labeled up. So Cincinnati Reds for that one. And then we had Reese here. He came out for the Blue Jays with a little Reese McGuire, Toronto Blue Jays. And then the Acuna, of course, that's money right there. I don't know who has the Braves tonight, but whoever has them, that's a little bit of money in the bank for you, I would expect, with a nice Ronald Acuna autographed baseball. So we've had a couple of very good cases. Our last case that we opened a couple of days ago was nice as well. So we've been having a pretty good little run here with our onyx balls lately. So, all right, this one is in the books. We're going to be moving into Heritage. Let me get our baseballs here set aside, and then I'm going to get our Heritage teed up. I haven't watched anybody else's breaks of Heritage today, but you know what? I'm assuming it's awesome because Heritage is pretty much always awesome. So I think it'd be hard to not be awesome, right? When it's Heritage. That's how I think anyway. Okay, so we are now taking a look at information that we saw a second ago. And probably most of you heard me talk about it. If you did not hear me talk about it, if you tuned in after the fact, please take a minute, read the info there on the screen, hit me up with any questions that you may have. You can hit me up in chat if you're watching live, or of course you can send me a message on eBay, which I would see later. This is a 6-box case of 2019 Heritage Baseball. It is a half case break, and it is break number 1. And of course we have our team names on the left-hand side, our winning bidders on the right-hand side. This released today, the Wednesday the 27th, and of course it ended today on eBay, same day, and we're breaking it tonight. So gonna have a little fun here with Heritage. Always good to get into that, getting 2019 really off to the start. I mean, I know we've had Series 1 and all that already, but come on, let's face it, we really kind of consider this getting it teed up, don't we? Getting the year off to the right start comes with Heritage. So there are a couple of different ways that I can do this. Normally, when we are doing a case, we take out all of the boxes. I guess we may as well just do that, and we number them on the end, and then we let random decide which ones we open in the, you know, which break. And because there are so many in here, I kind of toyed with the idea of you know, just going like top half, bottom half, or right half, left half, something like that. But what the heck, we may as well just do it the way we always do it and get them out, number them, and go through our normal procedure here. It takes a little bit longer, but it does keep everything really transparent as to how it is determined what is opened when. Of course, a lot of times we open full cases, but on things like this that have well, where am I going to put that? That have so many base cards in them, you know, sometimes we got to bust them up into half cases like we're doing here. I can barely even see where I'm numbering. The back of these boxes is so dark. Well, that's all right. We know where they are. We know where 1 through 12 is. All right, let's roll over here to random and get this ready to go. All right, there's our 1 through 12. I'm just going to hit random a single time. We'll take the first, after we randomize whatever the first 6 numbers are, we'll open those corresponding 6 boxes. So that gives us 4, 9, 12, 2, 8, and 1. All right, so 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 12. I got to remember that. 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 12. All right, so 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, and 12. Is that right? Yeah, that's 6. Okay, perfect. Let me get the other 6 put back in their case, and then we'll get rolling here. Now this, of course, is my first chance looking at this year as well. So I'm going to be rubbernecking a little bit, I'll admit it. Here in the first box, I might go a little slower than we would be as we, get into some other boxes. But the first box, I'm going to be rubbernecking a little, checking it out myself. So that's the deal. Greg, you said Topps should have double the Dodgers autographs. Is that what you're telling me there? I'm not entirely sure what that says, but I think you're saying you wish that the Dodgers had double the autographs. Maybe. CIA, you said something about rose-covered cottage is your wife. I am really confused. Did I miss something? I don't know what either one of you were talking about. I must have missed something when I didn't look up there for a minute. I don't know. I'm so confused. All right, so we have a little poster here for Chris Davis and the A's as our box topper. So just folded up like that. I'll figure out how to get it to you pretty much folded up in the same manner if that is coming your way. Of course, you guys know the deal with Heritage. I imagine everybody's opened Heritage at some point before, and we are looking for an autograph or a relic card in every box. So 1 per box is what we're kind of looking for here in Heritage. And there's loads of packs and loads of cards, and it takes a really long time to have to get through a break of this, even though it doesn't have a lot of hits. It just takes a while with a lot of cards. So, oh, Charlie, you were asking about the unpaid team. You know what? I just am not even going to fool with it tonight. I appreciate the offer, but honestly, it was not, I don't even remember what team it was, and it wasn't very much money, and I got completely sidetracked by this person who's trying to force me to pay their customs charges, and that unfortunately got me all tied up with trying to get some of that dealt with, and I just did not get my due diligence done on it. So that's what happened there. But normally, Charlie, yeah, you're right. Normally an unpaid, I would definitely be finding a home for it. But since it's, there's just one of those nights, I was actually having a pretty good day until I figured out what was going on there. But in all my years on eBay, which I've been on eBay, oh gosh, a long time, probably over 20 years, I have never received such a vile message from a person in my life. I mean, I think every curse word ever created was in that email. And yeah, because they had to pay customs charges as if like they didn't know. You live in another country. You don't know your country charges you customs charges if you import something. But wow, it was, yeah, that's the kind of message that'll turn your hair white. So took me a little bit to work on that. Oh, CIA, I got you. CIA chef, you're saying you bought the break under your wife's name. Oh, see, I told y'all I was slow tonight. I did not make that mental connection. I'm sorry about that, man. And Chris, we will definitely try to get the mojo flowing over here for Acuna for you again. A little Trevor Story insert. And what else have we got? Our league leaders, we're going to have to set our league leaders all aside because those will have, of course, multiple teams on them. So we'll be figuring out how that is going to work at the end of the break. So we'll just kind of create a couple of different piles for that. Our sporting news, of course, more inserts for those. And our rookie stars, we don't have to worry about. They're all on the same team. The Indians and Trevor Bauer, that's on a chrome parallel, numbered to 999. And guys, those chrome parallels, just in the essence of keeping things moving along, I think I will just put those in sleeves and things after the break rather than stopping to do them all, you know, each as we find them, because there's going to be a decent number of them in here, and it, believe it or not, would take us a while, would slow us down a little bit. I am kind of sorting our inserts into a separate pile, though, just in case we want to go back and look at any of those at some point, because we might. And this is a baseball flashback for Rod Carew. Little insert there for Mr. Rod Carew. Griffin, you sold your, the Lionel Messi jersey, and the person who bought it said it was a fake. Well, they can see it's authenticated, right? I mean, it was authenticated by Beckett and Leaf, so there's no way that that's a fake, with it being double authenticated by both Beckett and Leaf. So why did they buy it if they think it's a fake? I don't understand why would they even buy it? That doesn't even make any sense. That is just their idea of fun, just to buy it and then tell you that they want their money back, or I don't know. But you know what? People will do about anything. That's one thing I've learned. People will just do anything these days. Not everybody, but there are certain people that will. Yankees Chance Adams is our autograph hit out of box 1. So we're fortunate that I don't have a ton of those kind of people in the breaks, but certainly you find them from time to time, and yeah, it's kind of a problem when you do. But once they set out to defraud you in whatever way it is that they've decided they're going to defraud you, whatever it is they've decided, they're going to get you one way or another. Once they've made up their mind about it, you can just about count on that. So yeah, Griffin, but I mean, what is their rationale for having bought it if they think it's fake? And if they just bought it, I mean, if they just bought it, they obviously don't even have it yet. So how are they telling you that they've decided it's fake from the time they bid on it and the time now? I don't even understand. That just doesn't even make any sense. But I guess if you haven't shipped it to them yet, obviously I wouldn't, because that's just going to cause you all kinds of problems down the road. I'm sure you know that already, but just goes to the mindset of these people that are like this. And I would say if you haven't shipped it yet, then I wouldn't. I would just cancel the sale, refund their money, and list it for someone else to buy, so that you don't have to sell it to a crazy person. That's what I would do. Not that I guess I should call them a crazy person, but certainly that doesn't seem like rational behavior, to purchase something and then immediately say that it's fake, does it? I mean, I don't know. Weird. Oh, well. I'm sure Beckett will gladly back you up with it, since they're the ones who certified it as authentic. Then and now. So yet another little housekeeping deal up there with multiple teams on a card. So all of that kind of stuff is just going to set right up there in housekeeping. We'll collect them as we go along, and then we will sort it out at the end of the break. Oh, so they've already gotten it, and they said that the tag was fake, like as in the tag on the jersey itself. That's okay. That's really weird. It's just strange, man. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry about that. But definitely we know it is not fake. And that's about all I can tell you for sure is you know it's not, since it's Beckett and Leaf authenticated. Nolan Arenado, he just signed a big contract recently. And that's a short print, isn't it? Or a variation, one or the other. For the Rockies, Nolan Arenado. I'll set that one aside. And we've already got a Yankees autograph out of there. I mean, that was first out, is that Chance Adams. So you've already got Yankees mojo working for you, for sure. Right off the bat, it came to you without you even calling forth the mojo. How about that? Rookie Stars, Blue Jays. And some more, you know, some of these news flashbacks, though, we're going to have to set these out aside, too, really, because they're not all going to be baseball related. In fact, a lot of them probably aren't going to be. That was another one I had stacked over with our inserts. See, that's why it's handy to stack inserts separately, isn't it? So we will start ourselves a new pile for news flashbacks to go along with everything else that is a flashback. There's a couple of these, of course. You've seen me flip over checking the backs. Again, this is just my first time going through it as well, so I am not, I want to make sure I'm not missing short prints and things, so sometimes I'm checking out things as we go along by looking at the little code there on the back. All right, so box number 1 finished. Oh, you missed the first autograph? Yeah, man. It's Chance Adams for your Yankees, as a matter of fact. So you had the mojo right away out of box number 1. But out of curiosity, what did you end up getting for that jersey? Bruce, you said the scratch off is like a scratch and sniff. I hope not. It would probably, what would it smell like? Sweat or something? If we were scratching off a game-used something. I don't know. I've pulled game-used memorabilia before that smells terrible. Some of those batting gloves and things. Oh, with all the sweat baked in them, and then they put them in those boxes. You open it up, it'll just knock you right down. So that is for the Mets. It is Nolan Ryan box topper out of box number 2. So we had the little folded poster for the A's out of box number 1, and then that Nolan Ryan out of box number 2. Oh, yeah, Griffin, I'm with you. I would probably just have them return it for sure. Because I think you could probably get more for it anyway. And again, just, you know, there's just certain people you just know it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to reason with them. You may as well just make it easy. CAA chef, you've got to pick up your wife at work. Okay, and so you're gonna catch it on the replay, and you're looking for some mojo for your Red Sox. All right, I will do my best for you, brother. I will try very hard to have some Red Sox mojo coming your way. I'm going to try to make that happen for you. Uh-oh, I did set that whole stack down upside down. Daggone it. All right, well, let's stop and look at these anyway. We'll see what we've got up to here. And this is a chrome parallel for Charlie Blackmon and the Rockies. And I guess we're probably in our hot box because that was, you notice the purple border, but yet unnumbered. So that's typically indicative of the hot box, which it's going to be because there's another one right behind it, Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. So that means we're going to be finding one of those per pack, I believe. One chrome with purple border. Padres, Eric Hosmer. More of our batting leaders and such. There's a Big mess of those going on. Here's a Red Sox with Xander Bogaerts hot box chrome. That is probably a short print. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. What was the code on that? Yeah, it wasn't. It's 092, so it's just a regular. Just looked like it should be for Todd Frazier, but it wasn't. And Rookie Stars for the Padres out in the hot box parallel. Lance McCullers Jr. comes out for the Astros with the black border. Sporting News insert. Scooter Gennett hot box. The Phillies with an Aaron Nola hot box chrome. Another little scratch off there. That one is Mike Trout and the Angels. For the Cardinals, Paul DeYoung. And the Angels, Mike Trout with a hot box parallel. Oh, Bruce, yeah, you sell a lot of memorabilia and things too, don't you, Bruce? So it might be, yeah, you and Griffin should converse on, have a little convo about who it was that has that issue going on. Might be a good thing to know going down the road. I don't know, we got so much stuff over there waiting to be dealt with. I feel like my workspace is like all full. Oh, you know, I feel like I don't have any room. Of course I do. I've got tons of room, but it just feels that way. Trey Mancini, hot box chrome. And Starlin Castro, hot box. Max Scherzer insert. Freddie Freeman insert. That is an Indians Encarnacion hot box. And Duhar, Yankees hot box. Then and now, we've got to put that up there. I forgot how many inserts are in here. Kenta for the Dodgers with a hot box, and then behind it, we have another chrome for Segura to $9.99 for the Phillies. Well, Philadelphia Phillies action. You know what? We should be getting word on Bryce Harper, shouldn't we, this week, I would think? Paul Goldschmidt, Cardinals. I'm never going to get used to that. Well, I will eventually, but boy, every time I see Goldschmidt, I still want to say Diamondbacks, but no, he's a Cardinal these days. And there's another Cardinal hot box. That one is Miles Mikolas. All righty. Yeah, Griffin, I don't know. I mean, did you send her to the, I guess you did. I'm sure you did. Tell her how to go to the Beckett website where she could check the authentication and all that stuff. Because, I mean, it all matches up. She would be able to get all the details on there, but it sounds like you're not going to be able to appease her anyway. For the Mets, Jacob deGrom, still on our hot box chrome parallels. We'll have quite a few of those that we're going to be finding since we still got a ways to go here. Justin Smoke, Blue Jays, another then and now. The Astros of Verlander. Mr. Joey Votto for my Cincinnati Reds. And I believe he is a short print or an image variation. He's definitely not the, well, definitely not the standard. And the code on the back confirms that. I know that's not what that little code is for, but yet we all use it for that, don't we? Sure we do. Stanton and the Yankees. Oh, Bruce, he's a soccer player. Big-time soccer player. Jonathan Shoup for the Brewers and little Aaron Judge insert. The Indians with Carlos Santana. The Yankees, Luis Severino. And our hit out of this box is Jose Ramirez for the Indians with a relic. So one autograph, one relic so far. For the Cincinnati Reds, it is Suarez. And a news flashback up there. Mariners with D. Gordon. And there is box number 2 finished up. Yeah, Bruce, I'm with you. I don't watch soccer either. You know, I know some of the, I guess what you'd call superstar players. I know their names, but I don't really watch soccer myself either. There's just a handful. There's probably maybe less than 10 whose name I might recognize and know right away. He happens to be one of them. He's a pretty big deal in the soccer world, but I, like you, don't really watch it. I very seldom watch soccer, and I very seldom watch hockey. So our box topper here is a buyback card for the A's, updated with the 50th anniversary stamp. For those of you who might not have ever seen one of these before or pulled one of these before, these are actual cards from this year, from, you know, Heritage. And as such, you can see they're miscut. You know, they have soft edges and corners. Sometimes they have bends and creases and all kinds of crazy stuff in it. But that's because these are the original cards from 1970 that Topps bought back, and they just added that, you know, stamp on there so that you know it was a buyback and put them in here. So that's the deal with it. I had someone receive one of those once, and they were very upset when they got it. Like, what is wrong? You know, my card is terrible. You didn't take proper care of my card. And I'm like, no, go back and watch the video. Like, it's actually is that way from the beginning, because they didn't make cards the same way then that they do now. Oh, we found, you know, stuff used to be terribly miscut. That one actually probably was cut pretty well in comparison to the way many of them would have been cut from that era. Yeah, exactly. Bruce is like, yeah, as off-centered as that was, no wonder they could buy it back. Paraphrased a little, but yeah, for sure. I mean, but you know, all those older cards, that was the thing with them. That's why if you ever got a good one that graded well, it was worth $1 bazillion because of that fact. I'm not sure if that's a short print, but it might be for Acuna and the Braves. I'm not 100% sure if it's an image variation or a short print, but maybe. I need to look at another that has a rookie cup on it. Yeah, those are 09 too, so it is a variation, I think. But yeah, all those buybacks, it's always crazy, but it really does take you back, doesn't it? I mean, I guess comparatively speaking, depending on your age, If you're younger, you're just like, what's the big deal? You know, you don't remember them from the first go round or whatever, which I certainly don't remember these from 1970 myself. I was quite very, very young in 1970. But of course, by the time I got into cards, which was in the probably late 70s when I was still young, but old enough to then be interested in collecting and things like that. Of course, you could still easily find cards from that era, trading and whatnot. So I do have a memory of them, but wasn't old enough certainly to be thinking about buying them myself. I was still running around in diapers, so... Yeah, Bruce, exactly. No quality control back then. Of course, they weren't really thought of as much as the type collectibles that they are today with the commanding the prices that they do. I mean, think about it. They put them in there with sticks of gum, you know? You got cards that would come out of the pack with big gum stains on the back. I mean, that was always the case. If it was the last card in the pack, you could just plan on it having a big dark gum stain on it, because that's the way it was back then. Whoops, that's our autograph. I just about went by it. And it is Colby Allard Allard for the Braves. So 2 autographs and 1 relic so far out of Heritage. Braves and Yankees have autographs. And then our relic, who was our relic? Was it the Indians? Yeah, the Indians. Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it, Bruce, if they printed something on the back. Bruce says some of these Heritage cards that's what they should do, is like have print gum stains on the back. That would be pretty funny if they did. And make it like a parallel if you found the one with the gum stain on it. That's kind of funny. I like that. So the black border chrome numbered to 70 comes out for Chris Davis and the Oakland A's. Yeah, I wonder if they've ever thought about that. That would be funny. Of course, again, I guess there's probably a group of people that would get it, and there would be a group of people that would be like, I don't get it. What's this? Why does this have a stain on the back? Yeah, 1970, this particular year is not my favorite look for Heritage. I do like some of the other years of the 70s when we get farther into the 70s, but I always thought these were kind of bland. 68 is actually my favorite year of Heritage, which was, you know, obviously came out 2 years ago. But the parallels of the 1968, just that kind of, not exactly wood grain. I don't even know exactly how you would describe that border, but it's cool. That's another, that's an action image variation. Yeah, definitely, Bruce. They did that a couple years ago. I mean, they go completely in order. So, like next year's Heritage will be 1971 and so on and so forth. So, it will be a while before we get out of the 70s, since this is 1970. It'll be 10 years from now before we get into the 80s, which is crazy to think about, isn't it? A little bit crazy to think about. But smart the way they do it, because they know that by the time they get caught up to current cards, you're going to be so many years down the road that it will be vintage by the time you actually get there. So, of course, we all know Topps is pretty spot on when they plan out their products. They do a very nice job with everything. I miss them, of course, in football, basketball. We all do. Well, I shouldn't say we all do, but most of us do. We talk about it in chat periodically, so. Oh, you meant the gum-stained backs. You know what? I don't remember that. When was that, Bruce? Why do I not remember that? I don't remember there being gum-stained backs in Heritage. I don't remember it. I must have been absent that year. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was before I got back into cards, because, you know, I took a long break from cards. I got out of them in the 80s, the late 80s, into the early 90s. I got out of cards for a long time and then didn't come back into them until several years ago. Yeah, I don't know why I don't remember that. Huh. Well, see, there you go. So you did have it was a good idea, and they've already done it. So there. That's how good of an idea it was, Bruce. They already did it. So kudos, man. Here I was thinking that I was like, oh yeah, they should totally do that. And they already have. Oh well. I cannot think why I don't remember that though. Aaron Judge, it must have been before I did, because you know the first while that I did breaking, I didn't break baseball. I broke only football and basketball in the beginning for a while. And I didn't really start doing baseball until, I don't know, a couple years ago. I got started pretty good in baseball 2 or 3 years ago. But before that, I don't know why. I just started out in football and basketball. It was easier to get the product than it was in baseball. And you kind of have to work your way into baseball in terms of getting any quantity of things. You know how all the distributors handle the orders and things. So I didn't really get full tilt into it until a few years ago. So it may have been a year before I broke it or something. I don't know. Another buyback, and same deal, guys. An original card updated with the anniversary stamp on it. All kinds of soft corners, rounded corners, miscut, you know, typical heavily handled card there as our box topper. Oh, Griffin, my cousin used to do what you're talking about. Griffin says here in chat that he used to put his cards on the bicycle. You know, you put them in like the spokes, hold them on there with clothespins, and then it makes a certain noise, of course, when you're pedaling the bike. And my cousin used to do that. I have several different cousins that used to collect different things. This cousin that used to put them in his bike spokes wasn't really the big baseball card collector. My older cousins were more so than he was. They're the ones I did most of my trading with. But this cousin, though, he actually brought that up not too long ago. He goes, you remember when you used to put those cards in the bicycle spokes? I was like, well, I didn't, but yes, I remember. I always kept mine in a shoebox. I always liked mine. I didn't want to take them out and get them torn up. I always wanted to keep them. So I put them in a shoebox. Can you imagine now putting your card collection just loose in a shoebox? I mean, these days, good grief, think about it. We've got them in sleeves and top loaders and team bags and hard cases and everything else. And back then, think of the value of some of those cards from back then that were just, yeah, tossed wherever. But of course, that's before we knew. We didn't know what it was going to be worth then in comparison. Now we do. Bruce says any player that he didn't like, he would put in the bicycle spokes. He would only keep out the ones of the players he liked. I think that's funny. Starlin Castro for the Marlins. That's pretty awesome, man. And Griffin, you did the same thing. Only the players you didn't like. Yeah, I think my cousin just kind of indiscriminately did it. Because, again, he wasn't really much... I mean, he didn't really collect them. He did, as in he would buy them and look at them, but he didn't care anything about keeping them in good shape after the fact. He was fine just putting them in the spokes of the bike. I sent him... He was a big Beach Boys fan. This is the weirdest thing. He liked Beach Boys and Kiss. Like, is that not a strange combination for music? Kind of, but I can't talk. I have very diverse musical interests myself. But nonetheless, those are the two bands that he really liked growing up. So not too awfully long ago, I came across some Beach Boys trading cards. Did you guys know that was even a thing? Yeah, they had Beach Boys trading cards with, you know, you could pull autographs or like clothing relics and different stuff out of it. So, of course, it made me immediately think of him. And I bought him some of those Beach Boys trading cards and sent them off to him. I don't think he got anything good out of them, but you know, hey, it was just one of those down memory lane kind of things. Nostalgia, I guess. I just saw it and thought, oh, how cool is that? Didn't even know it was a thing. But of course, they make cards for everything. I mean, movies, television shows, you name it. There's trading cards out there for it. And then, of course, all the Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that stuff, too. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. A lot of my reps have, that I have, deal with those cards as well. So there's some days, you know, where I'll call and I'll think, oh, it's kind of like an off week for them. They don't have hardly any releases or no releases, and their hair will be on fire because they're dealing with Magic the Gathering or something. And apparently it's quite a big deal as well. Pirates and Chris Archer. But most of that sort of stuff, I believe you've got to have a... Oh, there's a Shohei Ohtani insert. You've got to have a brick and mortar store for a good amount of that sort of stuff. Requires brick and mortar. Bruce, you have 10 boxes of Desert Storm cards. Wow, I hadn't thought about Desert Storm cards in a long time. I do remember those. Guaranteed unsearched packs. Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, you should throw them up on eBay. You never know. Somebody might buy them. I just bought, at the same time I bought the Beach Boys cards, I found these I Love Lucy trading cards, which were not very much money. The whole box of the I Love Lucy ones, well, same as the Beach Boys. Like, the whole box of them was like, you know, $5. Or I think the Beach Boys were maybe like 10. And Lucy was 5. And then there's something else. I can't even remember what the other thing is. I bought the Lucy ones too. Of course I did. I bought all those weird ones. You know, those people are like going, haha, sucker, we've had these for 100 years. Starling Marte for the Pittsburgh Pirates Clubhouse Collection relic is our hit out of this box. But I don't know. It was still fun to open them anyway. I thought so. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good fun, worth the $5 or $7 or whatever it was for whichever box. Good entertainment for a few minutes anyway. Another sporting news. See, so Brandon is already interested in your Desert Storm cards. How about that, Bruce? You know, you said the shipping will be the bad part. Well, maybe, but it depends on if you have a UPS account or a FedEx account. A lot of times, if it's a heavy shipment or particularly large dimensions, you probably already know, but it's cheaper to send it UPS or FedEx if you have one of those accounts. Otherwise, you got to deal with some of that flat rate post office stuff. And the way the post office has changed the rates recently, man, if you send anything of any weight or size across the country, it is exceedingly expensive. Another super baseball, that's LK line for the Tigers. That's our box topper here. Because I had to send a bunch of base cards out of, I guess it was 2019 Series 1, where all the base and the break shipped separately, like had its own bidding spot. And it went across the country from me, like the exact opposite side of the country. And I mean, shipping on that box, I mean, it weighed, I don't know, 20 pounds maybe, something like that. And the dimensions weren't outrageous. They were, I don't know, 17 by something. But, you know, all in all, it was not a large box, even though one of the dimensions was 17 inches. The whole box wasn't very big. That thing cost like 60 bucks. But it wouldn't fit in the flat rate, and that's what got me. And I could have used UPS or FedEx, but the buyer had chosen post office, so obviously that's what I used. But yeah, that would not have been that much until the post office did all those rate changes recently, and that's made life kind of difficult unless somebody's close to you. They've even done that for first class now. It used to be only priority mail and larger size boxes over 12 inches were subject to that. But these days, first class and everything, even smaller stuff, it's now all based on not only the weight, but also the dimensions and the distance, which is kind of a kick in the pants. Well, so look at that there, Bruce. Maybe Brandon wants to buy them, so you might find a home for your Desert Storm cards as like a bonus, right? How is that? That might work out all right. Nothing like having a little extra come out of your break, right? Something good extra happens. And this is a chrome for the Red Sox. It is number 570 with JT Martinez. That one also is a refractor. Our other chromes that were to $9.99 that were also silver bordered were not refractors, which is why the numbering is different, for those of you who might be wondering about that. Just check this one. No, all right. Lots and lots of inserts on that one, right in a row. Oh, Brandon, you just got your money from PayPal on that gold Tom Brady from Optic. Wow, wasn't that a while back that you sold that? And why did they hold your money so long? What's that about? That doesn't sound like PayPal. But you know, if it's that new eBay payment system, yeah, I think they do all kinds of crazy stuff. They keep trying to get me to switch over from PayPal to that eBay integrated payments thing, and I'm basically refusing to do it. So Bill Dillman is our autograph here. And this is like a really old dude. And is that an original card? I think. I mean, it can't be because it wouldn't say a certified autograph issue on it if it was the original card. So I guess it's not, but it's a reprint, obviously, of it like the rest of the set is. But that's a cool little hit there. I had to work my way through it. I know. I was talking while I did it, but I had to work my way through it because I thought, is that the original card? No, couldn't be. Wouldn't have that writing on it if it was. Arietta's a variation. Their inserts. So I guess we'll have Vlad Guerrero Jr. get called up, what, about 3 weeks after opening day, I guess. Is it? It might be closer to a month, but I'm sure they're going to hold him down for that length of service stuff that they do. I mean, they did that to Chris Bryant. They've done that to several other players as well. They hold them in the minors for an extra 3 or 4 weeks after the season starts, and then they get a whole extra year of team control on their contracts. I absolutely hate that they do that. And I mean, there is no question that Vlad Guerrero Jr. is ready to play in the big leagues, and they'll try to come out and say, oh, well, he's just 19. He's still got things he needs to work on. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You know he doesn't. And magically, he won't have those things to work on in about 3 to 4 weeks. So, I hate that teams do that, but they do. Oh, they flagged it because it was large and went to Canada and all that. I gotcha. Yeah. That's this guy tonight I was talking about earlier, is a Canadian guy who's, you know, throwing a fit about customs charges and cussed me out and, you know, filed a case, says he's going to leave negative feedback. You know, basically he's going to come do everything but burn my house down because he got charged by customs in Canada. As if I wrote them a letter and said, hey, please charge him customs. I mean, you know, come on, guy. And it's always on the expensive stuff, isn't it? Always the expensive stuff where you have people doing this stuff. It's never somebody that has like a $10 thing. Of course, they wouldn't have customs if they had a $10 thing, but I just mean running into the problems in general. So yeah, I could see how you'd be a little unhappy waiting on $1,200 for this amount of time. Because you sold it Super Bowl Sunday, right? I think that's what you told me. Either on Super Bowl Sunday or the day after, one or the other, I believe is what you said about when you sold it. For the Mets, Cespedes with the black border. Little tiny imperfection you can see down there in that lower right corner. That tiny little fleck of white there is just a minor bit of chipping, I guess. Little bitty imperfection. Not terribly noticeable, but nonetheless, if I see it, I do try to point it out as we go along. Yes, they charged him $360 for customs. You told him to send it back, and he freaked out and paid it really fast. Yeah, well, this guy tonight that sent me all these, just really messages that would not be sent by a person who normally with that kind of anything in it. I mean, Yeah. Like, it was so horrible, I didn't even finish reading the first message. And I've heard a lot of horrible stuff. But anyway, he said he tried to tell me that they charged him $100 in customs for $300 worth of cards. I mean, maybe they did if they charged this guy $300 for $1,200. What percentage is that? It's like 30%. So, yeah, maybe. But then again, if you live in Canada, like, you know, you're going to get charged customs charges. Another buyback here, and this one is for the Dodgers. Once again, a little faded there, all kinds of edge and corner issues, and terribly miscut. But that's the beauty of the original cards from 1970, isn't it? All right, so this is our last box of this half case. So we are officially entering the last box mojo zone, whereby we need to try to conjure up the big hit, hopefully. And that would be yeah, Brandon, I know what you mean, saying you'll never send international again. I mean, I've considered many times cutting off international myself. And my problem always seems to be with Canadians. I don't have any problem when it goes to entirely other countries. No problems at all. It's always Canada. And then they always, you know, write you back like all this stuff about how you should have changed the amount. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, I don't fill in the amount. When I print the label, eBay fills in the amount and it's what you paid. So basically, you're just asking me to make up a random amount. But you don't tell me that ahead of time. You instead wait until you get it. So I don't know. I've had this problem before, maybe 2 or 3 times in the last 5, 6 years, and they've all been from Canada. So I feel like, you know, you just kind of, but not every Canadian is that way, of course, but every problem I've had has been from there. But you can do some international stuff that is really easy, so I don't know. I hate to tell you to totally give up on international stuff, but yet I understand what you're saying. You are looking for a Kyle Tucker autograph. Well, Danny, let's see if we can find you a Kyle Tucker. Get the Astros mojo flowing here. This is, looks like they might have a minor little imperfection on the bottom edge of that. But Ozzy here for the Braves is an action image variation or something thereabouts. Did we look? Oh, I don't know if we looked at those or not. If I set those down after we looked at them, I hate when I do that. I think we have already looked at them, but because I set them in a weird spot, and I think I did it when I saw the short print, we're going to look at them again just to make certain that we have seen them. So I don't want to leave you without getting a look at everything, of course. That wouldn't be very much fun, now would it? World Series champs. That's cool. For the Red Sox. Another scratch off Mike Trout. Aaron Judge inserts. Chris, you like that, Ozzy? That's good. I'm glad we found one you liked. Oh, I think my kitten just turned something over downstairs, or he might just be playing in one of the boxes. I usually let him play in the boxes after the new deliveries, you know. They have always fun stuff in there, either paper. I don't let him play them if they have packing peanuts because he tries to eat them. But if it just has paper or the little air-filled things, I let him get in there and play around. So he might just be in that, but he did make some kind of, I just hear some kind of noise downstairs that doesn't sound like the normal. So he's into something or another, but guess as long as I don't hear a big crash or see bloodshed or nobody's screaming downstairs that the cat did this, that, or the other, I guess I'm all right. So, of course, we're going to do the back half of this case on Saturday. And sometime next week we'll break it again. I don't know how many. We'll do, obviously, the first case. All the cards are shipping because that's the way we have it set up. And I may do a couple of cases like that for those of you who build sets and things of that nature. And then after that, I'm considering going to the format where teams get inserts and hits and all the base cards go in one bidding group to one spot. But if I do that, it would switch to a full case break. So just keep an eye on that. You know, I always state it in the listing description when it is like that. So keep an eye out for that in case I do decide to flip the switch. But for now, we're doing all card shipping and half cases. But of course, I have a fair amount of this, so at some point it just becomes more effective, more efficient, maybe is the word I'm looking for, to do it by full cases and base and all that. So oh, Bruce, you're multitasking. Nice, man. I'm like you. I always tend to do that too. I very seldom just can sit and just like watch a break straight through. I almost always am doing other things at the same time or bouncing around between breaks. Sometimes I can. I don't know. I guess it just depends on my mood, but it seems like a lot of times I'm bouncing around doing bunches of things at once, so I understand that. Is that going to be... No, that's a... Looked like it was going to be a variation, but it was not. And our last box has a relic as our hit. And our relic is Will Myers and the Padres. That is a little game-used lumber right there for the Padres. Trout and Perez inserts. Abreu insert. Cody Bellinger. Oh, we have ourselves a little rookie stars for the White Sox that's in the chrome parallel. Number 2/999. All right, we have got a bunch of stuff that is going to be divvied up using random. We're going to get all that done before we recap. So let's start with this. Oh, Brandon, it depends in heritage. It can be, you know, as I mentioned, or maybe I forgot to mention at the top of the break, but it can be either or. It can either be an autograph or a relic in heritage, and it's one per box. So this time we ended up, I think, about half and half. Half relics, half autographs. I mean, sometimes it breaks more towards relics, sometimes more towards autographs, sometimes kind of in the middle where we ended up tonight. So usually if we hit like we did tonight, half and half, I think that's pretty good ratio. It doesn't always fall that way, but tonight it did. So news flashbacks, that's this little stack of cards right here. We're going to give all of those news flashbacks to one team, and we're going to determine what that one team is using random.org. So, what did I do? I hit the camera? I hit the camera, sorry. Did I hit it a while ago and I didn't notice it until just now? Maybe. But anyway, we're going to use random to give that out. So let's, well, first we've got to go over here and copy all of our teams. I got distracted by the fact that I had apparently hit the camera, or the tripod more specifically. So copying the team names, then we're back over here to random. Going to drop them all into random. We'll scroll through so you can see that everything is in there. And here's what you need to know about this. When I have 9 or fewer items, I hit random 3 times, and the third one determines where it goes. When we have 10 or more, which is obviously the case tonight, I just hit random 1 time. Whoever ends up on the top line is going to get it. So in this case, it is the Detroit Tigers. So that is, well, why can I not get us back on the right page? There we go. So that's this little pack of news flashbacks cards that we looked at just a moment ago. I've got them in a team bag here so that I can write on the team bag. Of course, you know I would not write on your cards. I think everybody would know that, but yeah, I didn't. I wrote on the team bag. Now we have then and now. And of course, we've got 2 different teams on here. So we'll take a look through all of these. And what will happen is this. That's got both Mets. We don't have to worry about that one. It can come, and that one actually had both Red Sox. So that one can stay as well. So I'm going to see if we happen to have, yeah, okay. I'm going to go to random. I'm going to put in left and right, okay? And if it ends, we'll do random 3 times, because obviously left and right, less than 10 items in our list. And then the third one will determine. So if it ends on the left, then it'll go to the teams on the left-hand side of these cards. If it ends on the right, it will go to the teams on the right-hand side of all those then and now cards that feature 2 different teams on them. So we're going to take ourselves back over here to random and work through this a little bit. All right, so ignore the first one. Well, if it'll even go. Ignore our second one. Here comes our third and final. And there you see 3 times. Our date and time stamp comes up to the left-hand side of the card. So I'm just simply going to, once again, this is in a sleeve. So I am just circling the team there on the left-hand side of the card so I know where they go. Now I believe I have all these stacked out separately. If by chance there are some that got stacked in with the base cards that you didn't see when we flipped through those a moment ago, don't worry, when I locate them, they would also go to the team on the left. Again, I think I found them all, but sometimes, hey, you never know. Here we have got 3 teams. That's all the Twins. These are all rookie stars. Maybe you don't have to do anything about those. All right, good. Those are all fine like they are. I just stacked those over there because I guess I wasn't paying attention. So all the rookie stars, we don't have to worry about. These we do have to worry about. So most of them are configured like that, but we do have a few configured differently. So, and that is, of course, important because of the way that we do random, right? Because in this instance, these will go in as top, left, and right into random, but some of these that have a different configuration will have to go into random differently as well. So I want to make sure that they are sorted out separately so that we have a good system in place for getting these awarded. All right, so we're starting out with these. I'm going to type in top, left, and right. That's what they mean, okay? So same deal. Type that in, go to random, and then depending on where we end up, will tell us where each of the cards in that stack are going to go. All right, so once again, it'll be on the third random, so you can ignore the first one, ignore the second one. Here comes our third and final. There's 3 times, and our date and time stamp, it comes up as right, which means it's going to be this lower right-hand team. So again, I'm going to put the top one in the stack over here so that I can, I think I keep picking up that one same sleeve that just doesn't want to cooperate with me. I need to throw it on the floor and get it out of my way. Max Scherzer and the Nationals in the case of this particular card. And of course, same way all the way through. So you would be Indians down there. You can just flip through them. It's the lower right-hand team on each one of these cards. And then, of course, we've got these other fun configurations to do up here. So let's take a look at them. Okay, we're just going to do these as numbered. 1, 2, 3, that's number 4, and that is number 5. So same deal, except I will type in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for that particular card. All right, and third one's going to be the one that counts once again. And number third random comes up with position number 1. So in this case, it's going to go to Javi Baez and the Cubbies. Both of those cards are going to go that direction. So that random is now finished. But we have more. I know. There's so many of these different configurations. Now, this is, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or actually, oh yeah, man, if we had had 4 of those, I would have just sent one to every team, but we only have 3. Doesn't that figure? That's always the way, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to go the same way. All right, ignore the first one and the second one. Here's our third and final. 3 times our date and time stamp. It gives us position 3 on the card. All right, so 1, 2, 3. That is going to be the lower middle team, which means that these, because they are all the same card, are going to all be going to the Matt Carpenter spot there for the St. Louis Cardinals. Danny, you're asking about the cards that we did earlier that go to the left? Yeah, so, okay, so it's Cardinals, Orioles, Cardinals, Twins, Cardinals, Orioles, and Cardinals. So, and again, if there are any other then and nows that I don't have stacked out separately that should have been, that I catch when I sort, it would be the same thing. It would go to the team on the left. All right, now the last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same deal. We'll find out where our pitching leaders go. All right, don't pay any attention to the first one or the second one, but this third one right here does count. 3 times date and time stamp bidding position 3 comes up. Or not bidding position 3, card position 3. So 1, 2, 3 goes right there to Max Scherzer and the Nationals. Mercifully, that is the last of the things that we have to do in random. Thank goodness, because I got to tell you, that was a lot, wasn't it? Yeah, it really, really was. So let's look at some of our variations. There's Ozzy. This is a buyback that was a box topper, the Black Border Cespedes. Image variation, a buyback for the Padres. Image variation, a Black Border Chrome Chris Dunn for the A's, numbered to 70. That's a variation of some sort for Acuna and the Braves. Reds variation, Rockies image variation. For the A's, that is another buyback card that was a box topper. Lance McCullers Jr. with a black border variation there. Our other box toppers, besides the ones that you just saw there, of course, is Al Kaline and the Tigers on that one, on the Super Baseball box loader. And then, of course, we had Nolan Ryan that came out for the Mets. Same deal. And then we had a little poster deal here for the A's. So, the little Chris Davis poster for the A's. Those are our box toppers. You note it does already have some wear and things on the fold, the crease of that little poster. And, you know, they're not exactly super duper high quality of those, but anyway. These are our chrome cards, and this one is numbered to 999. This one, because it is a refractor, is numbered to 570. And again, all those to $9.99. The purple ones like this are all out of the hot box, so they're not numbered. But you only find these purple chrome ones in the hot box, and they come out at 1 per pack when we find them. The Phillies to $9.99. And the Indians to $9.99 with Trevor Bauer. All right, so those are the chrome parallels. Now down to the hits. Will Myers and the Padres Clubhouse Collection game used. That's a piece of lumber. Bill Dillman here for, I'm assuming that is the Cardinals. It just said Cards, but I'm like, yeah, that's got to be the Cardinals, right? Yeah, and it says drafted by the Cardinals. So indeed, the Cardinals. Starling Marte for the Pirates Clubhouse Collection relic. Autograph for the Braves with Colby Allard. Jose Ramirez Clubhouse Collection for the Indians. And then we started it off with Chance Adams for the Yankees, with an autograph for Chance Adams. All right, so that is the break for tonight. Why does this keep moving? Like I'm not touching that tripod, but yet you see that moving, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. We all saw that move, but I did not touch the tripod. So what is happening there? I'm not quite sure, but I need to figure that out by tomorrow because my camera is suddenly possessed. Fun times. So that is, of course, the break for tonight. I will put up information here about shipping and upcoming breaks for those of you who might have missed it earlier. So I'm expecting that Heritage should be on the way to you roughly Saturday. And if possible, I will get it out to you sooner. If something unexpected happens, it could possibly slide to Monday, but I'm hopeful that it will be on the way to you by Saturday. If you happen to hit one of the autographed baseballs, they will be on the way to you no later than Wednesday, a week from today, although most likely sooner. It shouldn't be any later than that. Consolation cards, everybody hit cards in Heritage. Don't have to worry about that. In the autographed baseball, if you didn't hit, your consolation card typically would be held until your next package goes out, simply because it is a free shipping break. But if you want it sooner, hit me up, let me know. I will gladly take care of it for you. Our upcoming breaks tomorrow night, Impeccable Basketball and Select Football. On Friday, a Gold Rush Trifecta football box, which is 3 autographed memorabilia items in it, as well as a Gold Rush autographed basketball jersey. Our first break of Contenders Optic Football, which is a Friday release. We're going to plow right in with a full Master case break. That's right, all 20 boxes at once. Woohoo! Leaf Best of Basketball, we'll bust into that again Friday night too. On Saturday, we'll do the half case of Heritage that we didn't do today. The 6 that are left over, we'll get into them Saturday night. Sunday's an off night. Monday, we'll do a pair of Gold Rush autographed mini helmets, another 3-box case of Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs, a case of impeccable basketball, and another master case of Contenders Optic football. So that's all the news to use from this end tonight. So I'm just catching up at chat here. All Griffin and Matt, you guys are very welcome, and good night to you guys too. And Bruce says things move in his house, but he knows it's haunted. Yeah, I don't know what caused that camera to move. Like, I know I'm not crazy. I know you all saw that move too, and it's the second time it's happened tonight. But I wasn't touching the tripod, so I must be touching the cord or something else. I must have, I don't know, trapped under something, hit something. I don't know. It was freaky though anyway, wasn't it? Well, thanks once again, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great night ahead, what's left of it, and a good day at work tomorrow. We're hump day. We're halfway through the work week. We'll be back at it tomorrow night, and until then, take care. Bye now.